This week in Jamaica Now, 5-year-old Kingston girl shot dead by stray bullet. The latest in the Richie Stevens rape allegations.
You know what is true? I'm really sorry for her to know that she would go that far to try and get some recognition.
Jah Cure in Dutch court on attempted murder charge. Money goes missing from Tom Lee's jail cell. Federal prosecutor Damian Williams becomes the first black U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. Why Al Miller lost his national award. Then.
And I know that we have still also a lot of Johnson & Johnson that we are not pushing, and a lot of Johnson & Johnson to come.
The vaccine controversy. One MP criticizes the government, and Manchester's young farmer wins CARICOM Youth Award. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. The St. Andrew community of New Haven was writhing in anguish this week after a 5-year-old girl was killed by a stray bullet at her home on Riverside Drive. Little Danique Salmon was asleep when the tragedy struck. The bullet reportedly pierced the board house and struck the little girl in the head. It is reported that gunmen had gone on a shooting rampage in the community. Warring factions in the area have been at odds for some time. Australian police have confirmed that the 2019 sexual assault case involving recording artist Richie Stevens ended after the law enforcement authorities found that there was not enough evidence to proceed. However, the police say the findings of a rape kit were never analyzed. The revelation was made in an email correspondence seen by the Gleaner between investigating officer Detective Senior Constable Amanda Hill and the alleged victim Elaine Lim, who was 27 at the time. Lim has accused Stevens, whose birth name is Richard Stevenson, of sexually abusing her between November 12 and 13 in Melbourne, Australia.
This happened in 2019. Yet we're at 2021. And I still remember every single aspect of what happened. Do you think for a survivor is so easy?
Stevens has denied all allegations leveled against him.
You know what is true? I'm really sorry for her to know that she would go that far to try and get some recognition. We're living in a time where people are doing certain things. We see it every day. Some people believe that likes are far more important than the truth. And we're here today to bring the truth out. Check this out. She claimed that I came back to Jamaica and run on to the media and give them fabricated stories. I have not done not even one interview. I have not posted a video about the incident. I didn't do nothing like that.
In an interview with the Gleaner at the weekend, Stevens said his relationship with Lim was strictly professional. He did not respond to a direct question from the Gleaner about whether there was any consensual intimacy. Veteran federal prosecutor Damian Williams has become the first black man to get the job of United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York in its 232-year history. Williams is of Jamaican parentage. Williams was nominated by President Joe Biden last year, but only won Senate confirmation on Tuesday. His nomination was championed by senior New York U.S. Senator Charles Schumer. Williams was born in Brooklyn but was raised in Atlanta. His Jamaican parents migrated to the U.S. in the early 1970s and met while his father was studying medicine at Howard University in Washington and his mother nursing. Williams will oversee high-profile cases such as the sex trafficking trial next month of Ghislaine Maxwell, the longtime companion of Jeffrey Epstein. He'll lead the investigation into Rudy Giuliani, the former lawyer to President Donald Trump, over his involvement in Ukraine before the 2020 presidential election. Jamaican entertainer Jah Cure remains in a Dutch jail on suspicion of attempted murder and other charges. He was arrested last week following an altercation with a promoter. Jah Cure, whose birth name is Sikatur Alikok, has had previous run-ins with the law. In Jamaica, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison for his 1999 conviction of illegal possession of a firearm, rape, and robbery with aggravation. However, Jah Cure was released in early 2007 after serving 8 years. 4 years later, he went on trial on drug possession charges after police found a small quantity of marijuana in the artist's motor vehicle during a spot check in St. Andrew. Prison authorities have denied knowledge of reports that administrative action was recently taken against warders after thousands of dollars confiscated from the cell of incarcerated entertainer Tommy Lee Sparta went missing. The amount is believed to be above $100,000. The controversial DJ is imprisoned at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center in Kingston. More than a week ago, the correctional officers were relegated to sectional duties to limit their involvement in patrols and searches. Tommy Lee Sparta, whose given name is Leroy Russell, is currently serving a 3-year sentence on gun and ammunition charges. The Gleaner understands that the entertainer was transferred to another cell to allow for more intense surveillance to mitigate against the smuggling of contraband. But Director of Corporate Communications and Public Relations at the Department of Correctional Services told the Gleaner that she was unable to confirm the claim. Arlington Turner, the chairman of the Jamaica Federation of Corrections, also denied knowledge of the incident. But Donahue Martin, the attorney for Tommy Lee Sparta, has declined to comment. The government has withdrawn the national award it bestowed on popular pastor Merrick Al Miller, following public pressure because of the clergyman's criminal convictions and his unrepentant attitude. The development comes as Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced his intent to overhaul the selection process for the nation's highest civilian honors. Miller was among 144 awardees named on Independence Day. However, Jamaicans lashed out at the pastor's selection, citing his 2 criminal convictions, one of them tied to the deadly events of May 2010, in which he was caught transporting then-fugitive Christopher Dudus Coke, a paired gangster whose hunt and capture made global headlines. The Member of Parliament for St. Andrew East Rural, Juliet Holness, has harshly criticized the Health Ministry for its decision to offer the Pfizer vaccine to adults, knowing that it is the only one to have received approval for children. At the same time, the government last week dumped just under 60,000 doses of the expired AstraZeneca vaccines. Speaking at Parliament's Public Administration and Appropriations Committee, Holness, the wife of the Prime Minister, said the Health Ministry contributed to the low vaccine take-up in Jamaica.
If we create the perception that Pfizer is the clerks of vaccination, and that's... No, I'm serious. If we create that perception, how then do we go back to pushing AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson? So I am still concerned. I agree that the most vulnerable is first and foremost. No problem or debate there. But the most vulnerable had available 55 doses of vaccines that we ended up having to throw away.
There's a clear policy directive that we have received around the distribution of Pfizer. And that policy directive has come in the normal course of how policy directives are given to civil servants. And that policy directive was very direct in that the Pfizer vaccine was to be prioritized for children 12 to 18 years old. However, parents and guardians who accompany the children were also to be afforded the opportunity to be vaccinated with Pfizer.
And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, subscribe today and turn on your notifications. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, Jamaica's Citrina Atkins has emerged as the CARICOM Young Farmer of the Year at the 2021 Caribbean Week of Agriculture Conference in Guyana. Atkins, who's also a Prime Minister Youth Awardee for Agriculture, is a Jamaica 4-H Club's youth farmer. Hear more from Citrina in this 2020 interview with the Gleaner.
Basically, I'm trained in banking and finance at the University of the West Indies. However, I decided to transition to the agriculture sector because I realized the corporate sector wasn't for me, first of all, and then I realized the potential of the agriculture sector. My cousin was the one who showed me Abbey Gardens Farm, and after seeing farming in that light, it motivated me and basically inspired me to go into the sector for myself. I didn't have any prior training in agriculture, but since I started, I've been a part of the 4-H REAP program, and I'm currently enrolled in another program hosted by the U.S. Embassy. It's fun for young persons and basically to treat it as a business, because that's where the difference is, treating it as a business so that you can grow and build on what you're doing.